Hey guys, welcome back to Entrepreneur Pod. Today we'll talk about 17 ways music has changed over the past 30 years. Let's head into it. Number 17. Music festivals enjoy a revival. In the annals of music festivals, there's Woodstock and there's everything else. The concept of the live festival was born in upstate New York in 1969, but it would endure throughout the decades. The South by Southwest SXSW Festival in Austin debuted in 1987. The Traveling Lollapalooza Festival was first planned in 1991, and Coachella emerged in 1999. Number 16. Techno popularizes music without instruments. Before the Berlin Wall came tumbling down in 1989, an industrial, electronic, and futuristic new dance music was called techno had arisen to prominence in Europe and East and West Germany. By the 1990s, the movement had made it to the United States, where raves, impromptu dance parties often staged in empty warehouses or industrial buildings, began luring the legions of young people entranced by the beats of techno. Reminiscent of the previous generation's discotheques, these urban dance parties were all-night affairs awash in mind-altering substances, most notably ecstasy and other so-called designer drugs. Number 15. Rap rivalries turned deadly. By the 1990s, the line between reality and performance in the world of gangsta rap had been hopelessly blurred, as gang members with criminal pasts became some of the biggest acts in rap. Felons with long rap sheets, most notably Marion Suji Knight, had risen to the executive level of the record industry, often through extortion, intimidation, and brute force. A long-simmering rivalry between the hip-hop hubs of New York City and Southern California culminated in the still unsolved murders of Tupac Shakur and Christopher Biggie Smalls Wallace. Number 14. Grunge puts Seattle on the map. Rock in the 1990s was defined by the shaggy hair and flannel shirts that were the standard uniform of the grunge movement, which evolved in and emerged from Seattle. Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and Nirvana were the standard bearers of the movement. At the same time, jam bands like Blues Traveler, Fish, and Dave Matthews Band developed styles that paid homage to the Grateful Dead, a pioneering 1960s psychedelic group whose long, strange trip ended with the death of Jerry Garcia in 1995, though bandmates continue touring under alternative names to this day. Number 13. AutoTune introduces mechanical pop. Released in 1998, Cher's Believe topped the charts in 23 countries. Exactly 36 seconds into the smash single, the world first heard what would become one of the key innovations of the past 20 years, a new pitch correction technology called AutoTune. Although it had existed before a year before Believe was released, Cher launched the robotic-sounding voice enhancer into the public consciousness.
You keep pushing me aside and I can't break through.
Number 12. R&B Fuses with HipHop. A new sound bubbled up in the 1990s as some of the most talented artists in the world developed a blend of hip-hop and R&B. The Fugees, whose members Lauryn Hill and Wyclef Jean later became solo acts, as well as Destiny's Child, TLC, and Toni Braxton emerged as leaders of the subgenre. Number 11. MP3 Format makes music intangible. Experimentation with what would become the MP3 digital audio format first began in the late 1980s. It wasn't until 1999, however, that the recording company Sub Pop first began distributing music in the MP3 format, a follow-up to the MPEG formats that had emerged in the 1990s. Music could now be distributed and consumed without the listener handling a tangible object like a cassette tape or a compact disc. Number 10. MP3 players became the must-have music gadget. By the end of the 1990s, music lovers had libraries containing hundreds and even thousands of MP3 tracks, but those songs were shackled to their computers. Then in 1998, Iger Labs released the world's first MP3 player. The MP-Man F10 was a big, clunky, Walkman-like box that offered just 32 megabytes of storage. Improvements were made, with new arrivals from companies like Intel and Lomega, but the game-changing transformation came in 2001 when Apple introduced the iPod. It would go on to become the audiophile gadget to define the decade and achieve sales that likely surpassed 400 million, enough to rival the venerable Walkman it rendered so obsolete. Number 9. iTunes changes the game. In 2001, the same year Apple redefined music hardware with the introduction of the first-generation iPod, it also unveiled the software that would become the most important music platform in history, iTunes. The two technologies combined to make tech hip. It was hard to go a day without seeing someone wearing the trademark white earbuds, and it redefined the way music was bought, sold, and shared. The iTunes Store debuted in 2003 and sold 1 million songs in its first week. Number 8. Goodbye Mixtape, Hello Playlist. The cassette tape gave the masses the ability to record personalized music collections and take them anywhere. The arrival of digital music and MP3 players, however, allowed music lovers to compile massive music libraries and sort them by genre, season, sound, feeling, romantic partner, or any other category that they liked, all without lugging around bricks of plastic such as cassette tapes or CDs. The playlist was born. Number 7. Subscription services personalize the radio. In the wake of Napster, subscription services began popping up as a bridge between peer-to-peer piracy and old-fashioned album purchasing. Pandora launched in 2005 and was credited with developing the so-called freemium model, which offered algorithm-based stations and playlists with ads for free or without ads for a price. SoundCloud launched in 2007 and Spotify joined the party in 2008. Number 6. The rise of the Rockstar DJ. Disc jockeys had long held down the fort at radio stations and block parties, but the 21st century witnessed the DJ move from backbench supporting act, Jazzy Jeff to the Fresh Prince, Ali Muhammad to A Tribe Called Quest, and that fourth, Beastie Boy, to center stage superstar. Artists like deadmau5, Skrillex, and DJ David Guetta gobbled up Grammys, sold out concert venues, and raked in millions, all without help from a frontman. Number 5. YouTubers became superstars. Just as indie labels did 2 generations earlier, YouTube gave aspiring musicians a way to circumvent major record labels and maintain artistic control over their work. Only this time, the video sharing app provided a direct channel between artist and audience. Artists like Justin Bieber used YouTube to parlay their talents into global superstardom. Number 4. Women drive millennial music. A diverse crop of talented and pioneering women added their voices to the music of the 21st century. Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Rihanna, Adele, Miley Cyrus, Meghan Trainor, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Kesha, and Ariana Grande emerged as heavy hitters in the worlds of pop, hip-hop, and rock. Taylor Swift, Miranda Lambert, Casey Musgraves, and Carrie Underwood made undeniable statements in country and crossover music. Number 3. Artists take control of publicity and promotion. For generations, musicians had stapled posters to telephone poles, handed out flyers, sold tapes out of the trunks of their cars, or, if they had the means, hired publicists to promote their brands. The new millennium, however, gave musicians instant access to something their predecessors could only dream of: direct lines of communication with their audience and fans. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and social media networks like Instagram and Twitter have replaced the fan clubs of old. Today's artists use these platforms to broadcast their messages, announce album drops and concerts, share intimate photos, and engage in political discussions with little more than a smartphone. Number 2. Digital music dominates. In 2014, the tide of change became clear when, for the first time, digital music sales overtook sales of physical music. Physical sales, which consisted mostly of CDs by that time, fell into 6.82 billion, while digital sales, which included services like Spotify, climbed up to 6.85 billion. Number 1. Voices go silent. In the 2010s, new artists emerged just as they always had in the past, but also just as always, the world lost many of the pioneers and innovators whose work inspired and enabled their ascent. Among those who died in the second decade of the 21st century were Prince, Lowell Reed, David Bowie, Nate Dogg, Teddy Pendergrass, Amy Winehouse, Heavy D, Whitney Houston, Dick Clark, Adam MCA, Youch, Joe Cocker, BB King, Chris Cornell, Tom Petty, Fats Dynamo, XXXTentacion, Aretha Franklin, and Mac Miller. They're gone, but their musical legacies remain. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.